All right, so I'm skipping over 7.2 for a hot second because 7.3 really is just an extension of 7.1 and it ties into 7.2, but we'll get to all of that. Just a kind of a decision I made. We could do 7.1 then 7.2, but I like the idea of doing 7.1 and 7.3 together instead. 7.3 talks about the ambiguous case, and this is law of sines. So 7.2 is law of cosines. This does not pertain to law of cosines, so which is why I kind of like to do them next to each other. So we talked about this in 7.1. So notice there's nothing here, and that's because I'm going to do 3 examples to show you each one of these scenarios. So I'm just going to write a quick little note. When finding an angle using law of sines, there's 3 scenarios. Okay, writing an angle, finding an angle using law of sines, 3 scenarios. 1, no triangle, or the no solution case. Okay, and I'll show you what that looks like. Sometimes we cannot have a triangle, and you'll see when that happens. 2, we can have 1 triangle, or 3, we can have 2 triangles. So we're going to see each one of these, and the difference between finding 1 triangle and finding 2 triangles is this little test we're going to do. So we're going to do all 3 of these. I'll do them in order as well, so you guys can see it. So I'm going to make my first triangle of no solution. So I'm going to say angle A is 150 degrees, B is equal to 30 feet, and A is equal to 10 feet. All right, 150 degrees, 30 feet, 10 feet. All right, so I'm going to draw this triangle. Like I said, doesn't matter. All right, we just got to be consistent with how we label it. A is 150, 10, B is 30 feet. So if we're looking at solving this triangle, and like obviously the directions would be solve. So if we're looking at solving this triangle, we do have a pair. We have a combo of A. We have the side and we have the angle. And so it looks like I'm going to find B first because I know nothing about C. And at B, at least I get the side, I can find the angle. So let's do some math here. So we'll set up with A. Sine of 150 over 10 is equal to the sine of B over 30. All right, cool. So cross multiply. 30 sine 150 is equal to 10 sine B. All right, these are calculator problems, so I'm not going to require you guys to know this, but you can plug this right in. Sine of 150 is 1/2, so 30 times 1/2, this side is really just 15. So I get 15 is equal to 10 sine of B, and I can divide both sides by 10. This just happened to be a unit circle angle. So 15 over 10, if I divide everything here by 5, I get 3/2. I get 1.5 is equal to sine B. Now, this should raise a red flag to you, and if it doesn't, putting into your calculator will. But the big problem with this is that we cannot find the sine of something larger than 1 or less than -1. So, no solution because sine inverse of 1.5 does not exist. Now, if you're having like a moment and you're like, ooh, okay, let me put my calculator and find B, you would see sine inverse of 1.5, domain error. Okay, so that means it's out of the domain. It's not possible. So you see that like we get that result pretty quickly. And that would be a perfect case. This doesn't exist. This triangle actually can't exist in like geometry world, okay? It can't actually be drawn with these dimensions. So, now we're going to try one solution. And I'll show you the test that we're going to do with the one solution case. And then we'll apply it to the 2 solution case, and that'll be in the second video. So, one solution, I'm going to say A is 120 degrees, B is equal to 20 centimeters, and A is equal to 30 centimeters. We're going to solve. 120 degrees, 20 centimeters for B, 30 centimeters for A. Let's solve it. All right. Draw the triangle. 120, B is 20, A is 30. Okay, cool. So we have our combo, A's, our combo. So kind of similar to 1, the first thing that we want to find is angle B. So I'm going to set this up. Sine of 120 over 30 is equal to the sine of B over 20. Okay. All right, so we're going to cross multiply. We'll get 20 sine of 120 is equal to 30 sine B. This is a unit circle angle. Once again, this is a calculator question, so you don't have to know this, but just to keep it in the back of your head, sine of 120 is positive root 3 over 2. Okay, so 20 times positive root 3 over 2 would be 10 root 3. 20 divided by 2 would give us 10. A is equal to 30 sine B. So we would actually get, dividing both sides by 30, 10 divided by 30. This would look like root 3 over 3 is equal to sine of B. Once again, this is going to all be done in your calculator, but I just kind of want to keep all this stuff fresh because we don't use it at all in this section or in this unit. All right, so we're going to do the inverse. Sine inverse of root 3, oops, so you guys can see what I'm doing. Root 3 divided by 3. Okay, 35.3 degrees. All right. Okay, so B is equal to 35.3 degrees. Cool. All right. Now, when we saw this in 7.